What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Noname here with basically a reoccurring guest at this point. My dude, OGR. I've been on his channel, he's been on my channel. Or actually, have I been? Yes, I have. The Big Blue
Yes, you have.
Courtroom.
Yes,
And
you
by the way,
have. Big
guys,
Blue Court.
we just came over from Big Blue Courtroom. He just had Big Blue Jabroni on there, and after this, he will be live. Where will you be live, OGR?
I'll be live with Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk over on his channel. He's got a roundtable going on that I'm going to.
If there's a way that you can post, I guess, a link to his channel, go ahead and do so in the chat. Feel free to do so. So you guys can go straight over to Butcher's Block Patriots Talk. I hope I got that right. OGR will be going over there. Man got a busy night tonight, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. He's OGR out here like Hollywood, bro. One of these movie stars. But in all seriousness, you guys know him. If you're already not subscribed to his channel, the link is in the description down below. Please go over, subscribe, help him get up to 1,000 subs. Also, go over to Twitter and follow him there. That's basically how I get into contact with OGR all the time. Twitter is the way to go. And well, welcome, OGR. How's your week been, first and foremost? How's everything, man?
It was pretty peaceful until Friday came, and then all of a sudden, just boom. Hey, OGR, do you want to be on my channel? Hey, OGR, OGR, OGR. It's like, oh my god.
You became the hot commodity. Can you blame them, though?
I mean, this face, I mean, how could you say no?
Come on, man. The face, the intellect, the opinions, it's in the name, the rebuttals. How can you blame them? And look we got Kevin Cronin in the house, Big Blue Jabroni, and Entertainer Talking Sports. What's up, Tana? He says a double header for OGR. Of course, Tana will...
triple header for OGR.
Yeah. Of course, Tana will also be live after this stream, so make sure you guys go over there and check him out also. Kevin Cronin coming in real high. He says 5 Phillies players and 3 Phillies staff tested positive, and they're waiting on 30 more test results. What are your thoughts? Can you do a video on how that will impact the MLB season? I would do a video on it if I was actually like an avid watcher of baseball. I am not an avid watcher of baseball. I'm very much a casual fan. I don't know if OGR is a little bit more of a serious fan when it comes to baseball. Maybe he can give an opinion on that. But from everything that I know concerning baseball in general, in terms of TV-wise and media-wise, it's been slowly dying, and it just seems like this isn't helping the case. What do you think, OGR?
It is slowly dying, and players need to get back out there, but, I mean, this is going to take a step back. If half a team gets sick. I mean, the good thing about half a team getting sick is basically now they can't get sick again. So the Phillies are all good. But, yeah, it's sad. It might take a step back. Who knows? Maybe we don't have sports at all this year. It remains to be seen. We don't know how they're going to deal with it logistically, but again, baseball is a dying sport, and they need to get back out there. I tried to link Butcher Block and Patriot Talk in the chat, but
I think it's like YouTube doesn't allow links anymore. If you can just take out the youtube.com and I guess begin with the / maybe. I've tried that on some streams it works, but YouTube is it's not what it used to be. I'll leave it at that. AV Sports was good, man. How you doing? So just from the / onwards, I guess, and people should, kind of infer that the youtube.com would go in front of that. AV Sports, what's good, bro? Bronx Beat Squad in the house. Big Blue Jabroni, Fernando Crespo, Phil Simms should be in the Hall of Fame. And before I ask OGR that, the thing that Kevin Cronin said is actually kind of related to one of the questions I had for him tonight, and that is, should we even have a football season? Because even though it's not in the news anymore, even though a lot of people aren't paying attention to it anymore, COVID is still there. It's not going away. And just by having these big events, it's bound to cause a spike. Do you think we should even go forward with a football season this year? It's kind of a controversial topic.
It's kind of a controversial topic. It depends how they're going to go forward. And again, you can't link it in the chat, which is unfortunate. So, guys, just type in Butcher Block and Patriots Talk on YouTube if you really want to go look over and watch it. But as far as it goes, then yes, you're 100% correct. I don't even know if they're going to have people in the stands. This is such a tough question to ask. If any sport's going to do it logistically, I think the NFL can.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say the NFL as opposed to a smaller league like the NBA, which has a lot smaller of an audience? You're comparing a stadium to an arena.
Well, they might not have fans or half the fans. The NFL will learn. They're really good at just dealing with stuff that comes with them, where I don't think the NBA and the MLB have been shown to do so. That's just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now it seems okay, but even some NBA fans are or NBA players are starting to get grumpy because they're talking about keeping them in this complex for the entire
Orlando,
time.
right?
Yeah, Orlando for the entire time, not letting them go home and see family and whatnot. And a lot of NBA players are like, that's not for me. I'm sorry.
By the way, OGR, I don't know if you can see it, but I could see it in my chat here that the link without the YouTube.com is showing. It's showing
Is
up
it?
for me. Hold up. Let me see if I go to, if I have to approve it or anything. No, it's there. And what's up, Cowboy X Factor? How you doing? Everybody tuning in, how you doing? Bronx Beat Squad said NFL has money, and that's what get them through. I'll definitely say that. I think, yo, listen, this is off the top of my head. I got no facts to back it up, but I would guess the NFL is probably the richest and, the most lucrative out of all the leagues. I could be wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
It's number
like,
one.
exactly. So if there's anything, not only will they be learning from the mistakes of the MLB, the mistakes of the NBA. I'm not sure how the NHL has approached it, but football definitely has an advantage there. They're starting all the way in fall, but they got the money to hold them through, and they're gonna have a lot of TV sponsors. I was actually talking to Chris D'Anatena about this on Twitter the other day. He was like, they can make up some of the money by putting sponsors on the jerseys, which is something the NBA has done in recent years. What do you think about that?
That's certainly possible, and I wouldn't mind seeing like a Hershey Kiss on the New York Giants jersey or something.
what brand would you want to see on the Giants jersey? And what's up to Alex Sports? How you doing, bro?
Nothing that's blue.
Nothing that it has to stand out, right? I mean, otherwise, what's the point?
I could see something. I don't know why I'm picking gasoline, but like Sunoco or Mobile.
Well, Exxon, well, I guess it would be Mobile, the red one, red on blue. Why not? Why not? And another thing though is you brought up a good point. It depends how they go about it. Is there going to be fans in stadium? Is there not going to be fans in stadium? As of right now, it looks like they're moving forward with fans in the stadium, or at least limited attendance in the stadium. We know for preseason games there's going to be fans. As for how much, I got no idea. Personally, I think the smartest thing to do and what they should do is no fans at all. It's already enough of a risk having basically 52 guys for each team out there, plus the coaching staff, plus the medical staff, plus some subsidiaries of the owners out. That's still a lot of people. I personally think the best thing to do is have no fans if they want to move forward.
I think the best thing is have no fans either, but we'll see.
Exactly. We got Kevin Cronin saying, I think there will be an NFL season because I can't go a year without any pro sports. That's another good point you bring up. And last time, I think we even touched a topic like this. OGR brought up, I was bringing up greed, but he did bring up a logical point. He said, you got to pay the employees. There's people out here working. There's people out here that need the money, and there's people out here that got to support their families. So that's another good reason they could continue to move forward with it. AV Sports saying, should the Giants sign Josh Gordon? Ooh, he has ties to Judge, with him being a former Patriot and Judge being the former wide receiver coach. Now, I guess give your opinion on Josh Gordon. I say no. That's just me. And also, what do you think about signing a wide receiver in general?
Live chat, be totally honest with you. And
yeah.
The answer, I don't think if you want to dive into it more, you can. But for me, it's just no. I mean, it's just obvious. Dude just has some mental health issues.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have the mental fortitude to put the effort needed to sustain a career in the NFL.
I agree with you. And of course, the reason it's coming up now is because with the new CBA, basically players are allowed to use weed now. If it's legal in their state, I'm pretty sure. So of course that's why it's coming up. Josh Gordon has had the history, as you said, definitely some issues there that he needs to solve, and I think the Giants should stay away from it. But what do you think about signing another receiver in general? I put out a video, I think it was yesterday, about a couple free agents we could sign, and I did have a wide receiver in there. I had Demaryius Thomas, and it did get a little bit of backlash from people, but the main thing was people were complaining about the age. For me, it's like, I'm not bringing him in to be a number 1, a number 2, or even a number 3. He's probably going to be the 4th option at best, and if he can't succeed there, well, then that's on me, but I would expect him, a former number 1 receiver, to succeed at number 4, to be, on a pitch count, on the outside, just as a nice outside receiver, and he could definitely teach something to Darius Slayton. But what do you think about signing another wide receiver in general? On a cheap deal, too, because we don't exactly have money to spend.
I think at that point you're kind of Xing out the guys that you might come in here, like the Benjamin Victors, like all the undrafted, the David Sills. There's so much wide receiver talent on this team. I would say yes, but I just believe there's so many guys that we brought in. Mac, the dude from up north there in Canada. There's so many guys you brought in. The other speedy guy there, you know what I'm talking about probably.
Are you talking about Rice and John?
No, not Rice and John. There's like a real speedy wide receiver we brought in too.
I think you're talking Austin Mack.
No, no, speedy.
Speedy, the one from LSU.
Yes.
Dylan, I think.
Yeah.
Dylan,
Derek
Derek Dylan. Yeah, he was the one with the 4.2 speed or something like that.
Yeah. So there's so much wide receiver talent on this team. Like, I want to see it compete. Like, because how many wide receivers are we going to keep? We kind of know our four. What's going to be 5, 6? Are we keeping 7?
Well, do we know our 4? I say we know our 3. Who's our 4? Are you relying on Corey Coleman to be the 4th with his injury history?
I'm not relying on Corey Coleman, but let's face it, Corey Coleman was our returner up to last year. And why wouldn't he come back? He did a great job the year before.
That's what I'm saying, though, right?
Decent catches.
That's what I would say,
decent
though.
Catches.
He's here, in my opinion, to be that returner. When he was the returner in 2018, the Giants had one of the best special teams ever. I'm pretty sure that's exactly why they brought him back. I would be with you. I think they're relying on somebody from the undrafted free agent class to rise up and be the number 4. But I can't see Corey Coleman just because of he can't stay healthy. I don't know. Maybe he proves me wrong.
Somebody says, isn't Corey on the Deadskins?
No. Bronze Beat Squad, you're talking Cody Latimer. Similar name, different players. And yep. Sarkon, newcomer to the channel, what's up, bro? He says sign Alonzo Russell. That actually brought up a name that I haven't thought about in over a year. And if we're going back, in time here, I wanted Alonzo Russell over Cody Core. That was the guy we chose over Alonzo Russell in the preseason. And of course, Cody Core was here for his special teams talent. But I like the hustle that Alonzo showed last year. He had a lot of good hustle plays and showed potential. I just wouldn't sign him outright. He's going to have to show that again because there has to be a reason he didn't get on the team. He has to show that somehow, some way again.
Yep, absolutely.
And then we got Bronze B Squad. Yep, he's the one that said isn't Corey on Deadskins. Bring back Alonzo. He's a 6'4" wide receiver. In terms of the undrafted free agent class, who are you looking forward to or who do you think could make the cut? My bet would be on Benjamin Victor.
I think we've had this question before. I've had it a couple times. I agree with you. Benjamin Victor is probably my guy.
Exactly. And so
with a Mac a close second.
Mac, he's more of a route runner than Victor, right? He's definitely smaller than him too. And now
he's a little bit smaller, better route runner.
Better route runner, yep. And so I guess the viewers might have been waiting for this. Listen, lay out your thoughts. I guess your initial thoughts and then what you think now. They may be the same because mine stayed the same. On when you found out about the Aldrich Rosas situation, you think he should be cut? How'd you find out all that, man? Give me everything about Aldrich Rosas.
Was you how I found out going live the other day, my friend?
I was in the park, man, and I kid you not, guys. I was chilling in the park, just relaxing, and I scrolled through Twitter and I see it, and I was like, this got to be fake. And then I see more tweets, and I'm like, all right, I got to talk about it.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's just dumb. I don't want him on the team. He's had one good season, and I know a lot of people are like, well, he has a strong leg. Well, so do a lot of kickers. For me, I'm done with him. There's no toleration for this. This is just completely idiotic.
Exactly. It's completely different from people who want to compare it to DeAndre Baker. Nah, this is open shut, man. This is drunk driving and with witnesses and definitely with traffic cameras, and he was in the car and he admitted to driving the car is different from he said, she said. DeAndre Baker, oh, he held me at gunpoint. No, he didn't. Oh, his Xbox was on, so, he's innocent. This is something that legitimately endangered people's lives, and he should be off the team immediately.
Exactly. And I wouldn't wait much longer if I'm the Giants. Go out there and get a kicker. I mean, maybe Joe Judge is trying to give him a second chance, but I don't see why you would.
Why
and he might be suspended anyways.
Why do you think they're taking so long? Because if I'm Joe Judge, if I'm Dave Gellman, he would have been gone by yesterday.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're giving me the benefit of the doubt, see how this shakes out, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay it. Everybody thinks that Gostowski is our guy.
That was gonna be the next question, but hot take hockey in the house. Hey guys, I just caught the end of your Q&A. OGR. Hope you guys doing well. I'm doing well. OGR, yourself?
I am doing fantastic.
Exactly.
There's a lot of streaming tonight.
You're gonna be tired by the end of it. So AV Sports bringing up what you said. Gostowski is our guy. Now I think he's one of the more reliable options, and I think he's definitely a realistic option. I just don't know if we should all go out and say immediately he's our guy. There's guys you could look at in undrafted free agency. There's other kickers you could look at in regular free agency, I'm guessing. But what do you think about Gostowski?
Gostowski, I mean, we'll see how he is after leg injury. I mean, before the leg injury, it seemed like he was struggling a little bit with the Patriots, but a reliable kicker for most of his career. Can he get back to that? That's a question.
Exactly, and then of course he has a legitimate connection to Joe Judge, who was the special teams coach over there with the Patriots. Even if he does come over, though, it's not like Judge is coaching the special teams. He's going to be involved, but we got our own guy over there, whose name is slipping my mind right now. He's been the special teams coach for a while. It's not, yeah, his name's slipping my mind, but it's not exactly like Judge is going to be hand-holding Gostkowski. Not that he needs to be handheld. What do you think about maybe he has a bounce-back year or something with the Giants?
Dude, I would sign up for it because how many wins would the Giants would have had last year if we had a reliable kicker?
Well,
the Jets game would have been, we would have won the Jets game.
We would have definitely been a lot closer in other games too. But here's the thing, though: do you really blame Rosas's performance on him, or do you put some of it on Zach Diassi, who had a terrible year, and that definitely affects how Rosas kicks?
I mean, it's certainly possible, but I mean, it's certainly possible. But I mean, it just with Rojas, it just shows such a lack of decision making. Why do you want somebody on the team like that when you're trying to install a culture? You just don't need somebody like that. And this is a guy you can make an example of to the rest of the team. Like, hey, because you can be a disciplinarian and say, no more Aldrich Rojas, that was a dumb move. But DeAndre Baker, hey, you made a dumb move, but I'm willing to give you a second chance. But, you send two signals to the team like, hey, I'm going to be a disciplinarian, I'm going to be good, but I'm going to be fair.
Exactly.
I'm going to be fair. And that I would like that to be shown to the locker room.
I completely agree with you on that part, especially about the fair part. People who argue that, if you let go of Rosas, you got to let go of Baker, like, no. Once again, it comes down to the Rosas situation is much more black and white than the gray situation of DeAndre Baker and what's going on. Of course, you got the trolls out there somehow, some way blaming Dave Gettleman. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they find a way to pin it on DG, who, really has nothing to do with this. Bradley in here saying, what up, OGR and the Hub? Bronx B Squad saying, I saw Bleacher Report article saying we should sign Cody Parkey. Listen, Cody Parkey is not named Cody Parkey anymore. His name is Doink the Clown because when he kicks, it always doinks off of the field goal post. So I don't want Doink the Clown on here. I don't want Nick Folk out here. I know he's another free agent kicker. This is why I'm more inclined to go undrafted free agents rather than regular free agent because the guys out on the market are trash, to be honest with you.
Yeah, except for maybe Gostkowski.
Yep. Sarcone saying, I say get an unsigned kicker from the draft. Very true. Big Blue Wrecking Crew in the house. That's a very, very familiar name out here. Excluding DJ, who are you most excited to watch play this season? Personally, for me, I mean, I've made it no secret. I think Saquon Barkley has a very, very good chance of making a run for the MVP. Of course, it also depends on the team's performance. But I am seeing 1,500 yards, 600 receiving yards, like at least 12 rushing touchdowns, at least 4 receiving touchdowns. Saquon should have a monster year. It's just building up for that. And I don't want to jinx it, so knock on wood. I just hit my desk. I saw you lifted up the Barkley jersey, OGR. Let me hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's a given. It's Saquon Barkley. But, just to be off thing, O'Shane Ximines for me is the one I want to see get a reliable pass rush. I want to see a guy that can be that reliable pass rusher. I think O'Shane Ximines has the talent in limited snaps last year, and I'm hoping he can step up. So that's another guy I'm excited about.
That's actually an interesting point you brought up, and I guess to play devil's advocate for the other side, arguing against Ximines, right, wasn't that the same thing we as Giants fans said about Lorenzo Carter? That in 2018 he was on limited snaps and he had 4.5 sacks, and we're really excited for what he could do with more snaps. What do you say to that?
Hey, I mean, every player is different. Did Lorenzo Carter put in the work? Did he have a sophomore slump? Did teams learn how to play against him? I mean, it takes 3 years for a guy to develop in this league.
Which, by the way, I completely agree. I think the rookie year is your rookie year. You're gonna make mistakes or you're gonna shine. Sophomore year, teams get adjusted to you, and you have to learn how to adjust to that. And that third year, in my opinion, is where you have to put it all together. And I think it definitely takes 3 years for you to know what you got in an NFL draft pick for sure. But with the whole pass rushing situation, so are you saying you're gonna look forward for O'Shane Ximines to come out there? Who do you expect to be the leading pass rusher for the Giants, or who do you think is gonna be that guy? Is it Kyler Fackrell? Is it Golden if he comes back?
Right now, my money's on Kyle Fackrell because of familiarity with the system. So I would put it on Kyle Fackrell right now, but I would like to see O'Shane Jimenez. Yes.
Okay, nice, nice. We got Fernando. I think he's bringing this up in regards to what you were saying. If we had a better kicker last year, we could win a bit more games. He's talking about the Jets and the Bears game for sure.
Sure.
Alex Sports, thank you for that. Definitely, guys, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, go down into the description, subscribe to OGR Sports. Bronx Beat Squad saying Ryan Suckup could be decent. I'll keep it real with you. I know Ryan Suckup. I just don't know about his performance, so I can't really give an informed opinion on that. Big Blue Wrecking Crew says, same man, if Saquon plays 16 games, honestly, he might hit 2,000 scrimmage yards. If he plays 16 games, it's not might. I think it's a definitely that he's going to hit 2,000 scrimmage yards again.
Absolutely.
Like, it's definite. The thing that might be might, if he plays 16 games with a better offensive line and an offense that's going to heavily use him, is that he might get 2,000 rushing yards. Now, that's a stretch, but that is what I would put might to. And what is up, Harrison Jolly? How you doing?
Sure.
For sure, man. Listen, speaking of players that's breaking out, what do you say to Darius Slayton, man? Because he is another person that does fit this Garrett offense very well when you talk about an outside, deep threat receiver.
Can you see? I really want to get up and get my Darius Slayton jersey.
Bro, go ahead. How far away is it?
But I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I got 2 seconds. I'll get up for 2 seconds to try and find it.
All right.
Harrison, don't worry about it. I think I know where it is.
While OGR is doing that, Harrison Jolly is saying, sorry I missed your stream. OGR, just wake up. OGR is going to give you the same response I'll give you right now, bro. The fact that you're tuning in, you subscribe to the channel, you support the channel regularly, that is what truly matters. And in terms of the question that I asked OGR, for those of you that don't know, I predicted Darius Slayton to have 1,193 receiving yards, I think, 12 receiving touchdowns, averaging somewhere around 15.4, 15.5 yards per reception. And I do think he's going to be the #1 target for Daniel Jones next year with the tight end group. Not Evan Ingram, because we know Evan Ingram is going to get injured. Let's keep it real, looking directly at the camera now. We know Evan Ingram is going to get injured. So the tight end group is going to be that, that second target, with Sterling Shepard probably having somewhere, around 700 receiving yards as the third target. What do you guys think about that, man? And let me know what you guys in the chat think about that. Well, let me see if I'm missing anything here.
No dice.
What happened?
No dice. I've got to find that jersey.
OGR, I got to keep it real with you, man. I'm disappointed you don't have the Darius Slayton jersey on deck, man. As the person that got the Darius Slayton jersey first.
I got it first. I was the first Giants fan, maybe besides his family.
Exactly. This man recorded. It's on the internet somewhere. We have proof. Recorded proof. He was on the Darius Slayton hype train before anybody else.
Yes.
I gotta ask though, what made you get on the Darius Slayton hype train that early? What did you see? You're like, this guy, I gotta get it.
All right, so it's 2-part. One was because of Bad Dog's video on Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Because hey, let's step up to bat. He apologized for not being on the Daniel Jones train, and then all of a sudden he was, and then I'm like, well, if you're on the Daniel Jones train, I bought him a jersey. Mm-hmm. And then I started talking about Slayton at some point last year, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to sit there and stick my neck out for this kid, I better go at least buy his jersey. And no Giants fan knew who Darius Slayton was. When I showed up to that Jets game, everybody's like, who the hell is Darius? Who's 86? What, you're wearing a Bear Pasco jersey? No, this is Darius Slayton.
And what a coincidence, right? That was the game that I'm pretty sure most Giants fans got to know him.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, you could point to the Detroit game. You could point a little bit to the Tampa Bay game. But for the most part, that was his breakout game last year.
Exactly. Afghanistan in the house. What's up, man? He says, what's up, fellow great supporter of all of the New York Giants YouTubers. AV Sports prediction for Darius Slayton is 7 touchdowns, 900 yards. Do you think that's realistic? Mine was 11 touchdowns. 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, because I think he's going to be heavily used. What about you?
I think both of those are realistic. I'd be happy with either one.
Definitely. Bronx B Squad saying, Hub, what should I get for dinner? Well, depends where you live, man. If you're in NYC like me, try to get some, I don't know if you know about the halal carts, bro. Get some chicken over rice with white sauce, barbecue sauce, and hot sauce. That's really good. I haven't had that since entering quarantine. Jesus, I need one of that.
All right, so
Fernando.
just get up and go order it right now. Just get up and order it
The
right now.
thing is, right? You get that it's like a food cart on the street. Like that's like how you get most of the good food in NYC. You either go to a deli or a food cart on the street. Mason
Actually, my
Crosby,
sister says the same thing. She lives in NY.
she lives in the city. Yep, that's the way to go,
Yes,
man.
Manhattan.
Bronx is on in Long Island. Then I don't know, man. I'm sure they definitely have some type of store for that. I'll keep it real with you. Now let's shift into the next topic. This is one that I really didn't even popped into my head until a couple days ago. You think about the general NFL offseason for these NFL players, right? They take a lot of time off and then they start easing themselves back into the game with getting their personal training regimen starts, a couple months before the season. Then they get into the voluntary workouts with OTAs, which, it's definitely recorded. OTAs are not as tough and they're not as strict and not as, I guess, hard on your body as minicamp, the mandatory workouts is. Partly because you're not even touching pads in OTAs and you're not even touching the playbook in OTAs. Really, the point of OTAs is to get your body back into shape before you head into the rigorous training. And then after you do that voluntary, like I said, you get into the rigorous training. That's where you get into the real stuff with mini camps, and then there's preseason training and all that. Given the fact that it looks like we're not going to get OTAs this year, and the fact that a lot of players will not or have not been able to get into their regular training regimens, and a lot of them, they're not all multi-million-dollar players. Like, let's talk about the majority of NFL here. They probably don't have their personal home gym, like the stars of the NFL. They probably don't have a facility they could go to. It's a very pessimistic outlook, but something very real that could happen is an increase in injuries. With our regular offseason, there's injuries in training camps and in OTAs. You're talking about their bodies are not as prepared as they usually would be to get into this mini camp into training. I think there's going to be maybe an increase of injuries, or maybe a little bit more stiff bodies, and then it's even going to be worse for the rookies because they don't even have rookie mini camp to go through.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 100%. I think it's a given, and that just says to you with a lot of the NFL players that argue for less camp and less practice and less games. Well, you guys keep getting injured with this. It's like you guys got to give your body time to get acclimated. And granted, I'm not big on preseason games. I believe 2 should be the cap on those, regardless of COVID or not. But I want that. I want more pads in practice. I want more of that stuff because it helps the players. I know players don't want to do that, and I'm not saying go back to 2-a-days, but I think more padded practices would do wonders for a lot of these players. And I'm worried about the rookies. I think you're going to see a lot of rookies that don't even make the season or get injured or their seasons cut short just because of it. I'm more worried about the rookies because I think the veterans know what it takes to get into that shape. It's the rookies. Are the rookies going to come out and play? And not to mention, yeah, they probably have a copy of the playbook right now, but how often are they studying it? How much are they using the information to get on the field to perform? Like, there's a lot of question marks there. And I'm nervous as a Giants fan. And, with COVID, are we even going to have a season?
Exactly.
Because,
Anything can change.
Everybody brings up the Philly thing right now.
Mm-hmm. And what's up, Jesse Bryan? Once again, bro, no need to apologize if you're late. You're here. That's what matters. Thank you for tuning in. But OGR, yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm really worried for the rookies. These are guys, they're going up against veterans that have trained their bodies for years and years, and like you said, know how to stay in shape. The rookies are coming in. The college football level of physicality is completely different from the level of physicality in the NFL, and not even during practice. I don't expect us to have any type of breakout rookies like we did last year with the 2019 draft class. I don't expect to see a Dexter Lawrence type player. I don't expect to see a Darius Slayton type player. I really hope, guys, there are early round picks in McKinney and Thomas. I really hope they have good rookie years. But, for example, a guy like Thomas, just because he's on the offensive line, I was already going to give him a longer leash because it's going to take time for him to adjust to NFL pass rushers and to get into that, offensive line type of play that we want to see. It might be even longer than I was going to give him because he's not going to get to practice anything.
Yeah, and that's completely true, and same with, obviously, McKinney as well. And those guys we expect starting. Either, obviously Thomas, right tackle or left tackle, but McKinney too. We a lot of Giants fans slot him in at free safety.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
or strong.
I hope they use him at free safety, but obviously the point that a lot of people bring up is that he's not as good in single high coverage as he should be to be a free safety, but he's better than Peppers, and I think he's the best option we got. Obviously he might be used around a lot. Which, by the way, AV Sports brings up something related here. He says, stats for Peppers, asking the question, I have no idea. I might have to look into that a little bit actually. What was Jabril Peppers' stats last year? Let me pull that up. I don't know. I expect him to have an improvement because he was injured last year. Let's see. So last year he had 76 total tackles, 0 sacks, 1 interception. Okay, so I definitely expect him to have a better year than that. I think this is going to be his 4th year in the NFL. If he stays healthy, I'm going to say like 90 total tackles, maybe 2 or 3 sacks, and like 3 or 4 interceptions. What about you?
For me, I'm going to go 85 tackles. I will go 40 of them solo.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions.
Well, even brought in some forced fumbles into the equation there.
Yes.
The reason I did go a bit higher on the sacks is I kind of think they're gonna use him and McKean to confuse quarterbacks because both of them can blitz really well and both of them can get to the quarterback really well. I think they're probably gonna use those guys to confuse these QBs.
Yes, that too.
Exactly. So,
guess how many forced fumbles he had last season? Actually,
how many forced fumbles did he have?
3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
And you said 4 forced fumbles?
And I said 4.
So just one more. Okay, and that was 3 in limited time because he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. If there's any player you're looking to have a bounce back year, though, right? What player are you looking to have a bounce back year? You know, we're talking. I guess the candidates would be Ingram, Shepard, if he can stay healthy. Both of those guys can stay healthy.
Actually, I'm gonna go surprise here.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say B.J. Hill.
Is he gonna see the field though?
I think he will see in rotation. He'll be part of that rotation.
Okay. All right. Let me hear your explanation for B.J. Hill though.
I think in limited snaps, his rookie season, he had the most sacks by a Giants rookie with 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden he falls off a cliff in year 2. Year 3, it's his proving ground. This is a guy that may not even make the team. He is going to be motivated to play every snap like it's his last. I could see B.J. Hill getting in there and rubbing shoulders with a lot of these guys, and let's go, and let's see what you can do. Because we're going to need a reliable guy to put on pressure. And, yeah, we automatically slot in, what's his face there?
Leonard Williams.
OJ, but we're going to need another big guy. And who's doing it from the nose tackle spot? To me, it's going to be Leonard Williams is going to be put out at DN at that point. I think it's going to be B.J. Hill. Dexter Lawrence at the other. Either one. You can put. All these guys are interchangeable. Either 3, 4.
Yeah, the 4 of them are definitely going to be rotating in somewhere or another. That's the thing. You bring up another good point there. Hill led he has the record for most rookie sacks in Giants history, and then the dude just disappeared. And like a lot of people say, oh, he disappeared because of Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams didn't come onto the team until week 9, week 10 against the Cowboys. For those first 9 weeks of the season, B.J. Hill was not who he was the previous year. And I really do think that most of that goes to Betcher and Betcher's coaching just regressing a lot and the defense overall just regressing a lot. I think he can bounce back, but it comes back to it depends how many snaps he gets. If he's being used in rotational spot, he's going to have to be rotated with Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams a lot because I know they wanted to get Dexter Lawrence out there on most of the plays because Dexter Lawrence, I think, excluding, where they are right now, I think Dexter Lawrence has the highest ceiling out of any of those guys, and he's already well on his way to being one of the better defensive tackles in the league. So B.J. Hill definitely has the recipe to have a bounce back here. It just comes down to snap count, in my opinion.
Yeah, to me, I kind of just picked a random guy because, a lot of people pick the same guys over and over again, so I just thought I'd pick a random guy that nobody would thought pick up.
But the random guy turned out to be a pretty good one, man. Raymond asking a wide NFL question. He says, who's worse, Jacksonville or the Panthers? I don't know. Going into next season, you'd say Jacksonville. I guess the Panthers are better set offensively. Jacksonville, their defense is not what it used to be. And their offensive line is trash. So, yeah, I'd probably go Jacksonville, actually.
Yeah. And plus, I think there's a bigger question even at quarterback.
Okay, now this is something I never got, right? And obviously, I'm a Giants dude, so the team I watch the most is the New York Giants. But why do people have so many questions about Gardner Minshew? He seemed to have a good rookie year last year.
For me, he had a good rookie year, and then Nick Foles came back for a little bit, and then Gardner Minshew was put back in. He wasn't the same guy.
Do you think he was just riding a high for a little bit?
I think he might have been riding a high. I'm hoping it's not a mistake because I kind of like the whole mustache mystique. I like the whole thing. His family is real likable. So there's some parts of why I get behind Gardner Minshew, but I want to see him succeed, but I don't think he will for some odd reason.
Hey man, the dude was what, like a sixth or seventh round pick, I think. So there's
Mm-hmm.
definitely reason, it wouldn't be exactly a surprise. Jesse Bryan saying, OGR, what's your favorite draft pick, and what about me? Okay, so if we're going from the 2019 draft class, my favorite draft pick was Andrew Thomas. If we're going in the amount of time that I've been watching the Giants, I would go. Well, a lot of people might not like this, but OBJ. I'm a very young dude. And the time I've been seriously watching the Giants, it's only been like 4 years, and the time I've been watching the Giants overall has been like 9. So I'd go OBJ. What about you, OGR?
I'll add a couple in. I'll add a couple in here. So my favorite pick all time, Saquon Barkley. I know it sounds like a little bit of a cop out, but when you watch somebody from their freshman year in college all the way up, then that's my favorite pick because I kept when you say in his
You basically
junior
saw
year
his
he's going
journey.
to be a New York Giant. I
Yeah.
said in his junior year he was going to be a New York Giant, and I still have the text that I texted my father, my uncle, my other uncle. Like we're all big Giant. I said, mark my words. Second round, the first pick for the New York Giants will be Saquon Barkley. You got Saquon Barkley, so it's my favorite pick of all time. My two most disappointing are actually running backs as well. Tyrone Wheatley,
David
because I'm a Big
Wilson?
Ten fan, and Rondé.
Okay. I'm surprised you didn't say David Wilson. I know David Wilson was. He was like.
I predicted him to be a Giant as well. I
Really?
watched the combine, and I'm like, that dude's going to be a Giant. Sure enough.
Yo, the thing is, man, David Wilson could have been the Saquon before Saquon, not in terms of player, but in terms of the impact he could have had on the team, in my opinion. Such sad, just really sad what happened
He,
to him.
but he's not. He's more of a one cut and go, and he had obviously had the speed that Saquon possesses. But what I liked about David Wilson was he actually played more like Christian McCaffrey to me,
Really,
and he
Christian
had the
McCaffrey.
ability.
And I was gonna say
And
McCaffrey has a little bit more of a receiving talent, doesn't he?
yeah, he does. But David Wilson was like anywhere you put him on the field, kind of like Saquon. David Wilson could take you to the house.
Yeah, that's for sure right there. And the two players in three, I guess you could say, in the past decade that you put on the field offensively that could take you to the house from anywhere would be Wilson, Saquon, and OBJ. And to
Yeah.
an extent, maybe even Cruz in his prime, because Cruz obviously 99-yard touchdown. I think your camera's out of focus a little bit, OGR.
I should hopefully go back and forth.
Yeah, it just went back to it exactly. Let's see here. Toughest defense we played, regardless of home and away. Seattle, Steelers, Niners, Baltimore. It's a tie between Niners and Baltimore for me. I think Baltimore is going to be our toughest game in the entire year coming up, and we have a very tough schedule. But I think for sure, if there's one game I can say there's no way we're winning, even if we go on a magical Super Bowl run, it would be the Baltimore game.
Yeah, for me, it's the Niners. Niners probably the toughest defense on paper. Steelers are pretty underrated to me. They have a very good pass rush.
Are Steelers underrated though? I mean, I think everybody respects the Steelers and knows what they bring to the table.
I just honestly, I don't know why I want to pick against the Ravens. I don't know why. And people are like, "Oh, you're just a Lamar Jackson hater." No, it's not that I'm a Lamar Jackson hater. I don't know, because the Steelers have such a question at quarterback. But for me, I just think a lot of people just forget that the Steelers are in that division, and they just kind of look past the Steelers, and they always like pick Cleveland or they'll pick the Ravens. They'll just like look past the Steelers, and if Big Ben's healthy, they're no slouch.
If Big Ben's healthy, I think they this might be a hot take, but if Big Ben's healthy, I think they do win the AFC North Division. That's the key. No, and no. If he's healthy and he performs like he did before injury, and before the injury he had a 5,000-yard season, then they're winning the AFC North. If he's healthy and he's mediocre, they're not going to do anything. But it all depends on the quarterback play in terms of the Steelers, because I fully expect Big Ben to come back and if not get injured later on in the season to just be mediocre, because dude is older. And you know what? Let's talk about that '04 draft class in terms of the quarterbacks remaining this year. Who you see having a better year, Rivers or Ben?
Ben.
You would pick. I would go Rivers just because I think he's better set up in Indianapolis. He has a better offensive line. He's gonna stay upright a lot more. I think he has reliable targets. And while the Colts defense isn't as good as the Steelers defense, the Colts defense is still pretty good compared to the rest of the NFL.
The reason why I just think that there's a reason why the Chargers let go of Philip Rivers, and I think Philip Rivers is done. where at Big Ben, yes, the injuries are a question, but when he's on, he's on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think he's a better quarterback now than Phillip Rivers. I just don't trust Phillip Rivers to perform for the Colts.
Well, to that, I'll say...
That's the only reason. I like what the Colts have
Yeah.
going on.
To that, I'll say I think Big Ben has always been a better quarterback than Phil Rivers, not just now. I think Rivers was definitely, if you were to rank the guys, the third quarterback in that class in terms of rankings. Sarcone saying Judge is starting with more going against him as a rookie coach than anyone. I mean, yeah, I think that goes without saying. Like, the dude is already doubted coming in, and then everything crazy that's happened this offseason. What is up, Sabrina? Sabrina's in the chat. Raymond saying, how much realistic are Evan Ingram and Jabril contract-wise next season? I think Jabril Peppers is more realistic than Evan Ingram. I'm still on the train that Evan Ingram is going to get traded either next offseason or somewhere down the line this season.
I do too. He shows that he's healthy, and we start slipping mid-season, let's say, or we're just kind of, you can tell that we're not going to be in contention or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we still can't finish 7-9 at that point. I could see Evan Ingram easily going to contender. If he can stay healthy, he is a big-time trade bait for a contender.
That, obviously, the key word here being if he could stay healthy. When did he get injured last year? What week? Around what week did he get injured? Because one thing I noticed when looking back at Ingram's stats is that progressively from 2017 down to 2019, he got injured earlier and earlier and earlier. I think last year it was probably around week 5-ish, week 6. I could be wrong. But the year before that in 2018, it was like around mid-season. And then 2017, I think, was also around mid-season-ish, a little bit later than that. But every year it just got worse and worse and worse.
I mean, last year, did you just see all? He only had 400 yards last year and 44 receptions.
Yeah, he did not do that well. And then in terms of games played, I think, I don't even know how many games he played last year. How much the price? Jabril Peppers, that's going to be tough because we see what Landon Collins did to the safety market. I definitely don't expect this dude to do that to get whatever Landon Collins got, which was crazy amount of money. But Peppers, what's the price going for safeties right now? I would expect him to come back on a relatively cheap contract. Let me see here. Safety contracts in NFL. According to overthecap.com, oh wow, right now Eddie Jackson is getting paid the most. Jesus Christ. He's getting paid $14.6 million a year. Landon Collins getting $14 million a year. So I'm going to say Peppers gets like maybe $11 million a year if he has a really good season, probably 9 or 10 if he has a mediocre season and the Giants keep him on. But I'm not going to go all the way up to like $14 million or something like that. It might even be less than that considering OGR did a video on this. The salary cap is going to go down because of everything that's going on.
It might go down. It might stay stagnant. They're looking in ways to kind of offset the cap because right now, a lot of players, that's why a lot of teams are hesitant to sign all these players. Like, don't be surprised that we re-sign for a cheap deal next year. I'm always forgetting his name.
Re-sign? So somebody that's currently a free agent?
No, well, he will be a free agent.
But he's on a different team right now.
No, he's on our team.
Oh, okay.
Defensive tackle.
Dalvin Tomlinson?
Not Dalvin Tomlinson, the other one.
Leonard Williams?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I am drawing a blank on Leonard Williams. But, like, don't be surprised if he doesn't get signed because teams are hesitant to sign big-time contracts with a stagnant salary cap. So wherever guys are right now, $14, $15 million, that's where it's going to stay as far as safeties go. You're not going to, like, rumor has it that, what's his face from the Jets, Jamal Adams, wants
$20 million.
$20 million.
Yeah.
You're not getting that right now. The salary cap might go down and you want $20 million, you're out of your freaking mind.
Jamal, that whole situation, everything I'm hearing with, I keep forgetting, Jamal is his first name. What's his second name?
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. Yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting his name, kind of like with the Leonard Williams thing there. But the whole situation with Jamal Adams and the Jets is just like a crazy, it's not even soap opera, it's just crazy. The dude, first he's like, I'm going to play for the team, I want to play for the Jets. And this has been going on for what, like 2 years now? It's like maybe 2 year saga. Every time, Jamal always changes his opinion. I think it's been clear for about a year now that he doesn't want to be on the Jets anymore, and he clearly wants to get off the team. Listen, you did a video about it, and you said he's not coming to the NFC East. I want him to come to the NFCs. I want him to go to Dallas because I want him to mess up the salary cap for Dallas even more when it comes to paying Dak Prescott.
Hey, and that's a fair thing, but and that's absolutely fair. But and I mean, anytime a team has to go through anarchy, who doesn't love it?
Exactly.
I mean,
What do you even see him realistically going? Like everybody's saying it's the Cowboys because that's been the connection for years.
I say Seattle. Seattle always sneaks up on people. It's Seattle for sure. They could use a player like Jamal Adams. He'd make a big difference on that Seattle team.
They got
they got
Griffin at safety, and I forget who's their other safety. But yeah, the fact that I can't remember his name tells me he's probably going to be a great fit there. Joseph Clark in the chat, he says, "Hey all," with the thumbs up, waving, and fist bump emoji. What's up, bro? And Raymond saying, "My take is Giants win about 7 games. The coaching staff is a real upgrade. I called it the Avengers of coaching staff because the amount of, the coaches on there that have success at various levels." And yeah, yep. I think 7 wins is where they're going. That's as of right now my prediction. It could change by the time the season rolls around, but I think 7 wins is very realistic in terms of what they're gonna go.
Yeah, I agree.
AV Sports saying 2018 was week 3. I think that was to when Evan got Ingram. I almost said when Evan got Ingram.
Evan got injured in the Tampa Bay game. Then, if that's the case.
If that's the case, he got
Bills were week 2 because I was at the Bills game week 2.
He showed out in the Tampa Bay game. I think he finished that game healthy. I could be wrong. Because that was the game he showed out with 75-yard touchdown and everything in the second half.
Yeah, he showed out in that game, but I don't think he finished that game.
If that's the case, we did lose a good amount of players that game, man. Saquon, I think Lorenzo Carter went down that game, Evan Ingram. Ryan Connolly didn't go down there. I think Connolly went down the next week. But we lost one of our middle linebackers. Pat Shermer's
not unemployed. Pat Shermer's with the Broncos. He's going to do wonders.
I think he's saying the Pat Shermer staff.
Oh, Pat Shermer staff? Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, James Betcher is unemployed. Who else did we let go from the former coaching staff? But the main dude, Mike Shula. Is Mike Shula still unemployed?
I don't know.
Ooh,
I can't imagine. Camera. He's not a very good coordinator. I don't see. I could see maybe him being a QB coach at best. At best.
Joseph Clark saying Adams is like OBJ, great player on a bad team, has got to be tough. Yeah, I guess when you think about it from the player's perspective, it's kind of tough, but I'm not sure how much I can defend, what the guy has done with flip-flopping over the past couple of years, but it's definitely tough when you're a great player that wants to win and you're just on a terrible team.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else that popped into my mind, but one of the questions I wanted to ask you, I asked Kid Blue this when I had him on stream. What's your sleeper NFL team, in the NFL? Personally, for me, I think a sleeper team could be the Denver Broncos. I really like what they did in the offseason. I think they had a good draft. You could argue great, but I do like the fact how they built up their offense because they already got an established defense there.
I'm actually going to ask you one quick question, and then we'll get back into that.
For sure.
Where do you think Mike Shula is coaching right now? And he is a quarterback's coach, like I said.
All right. I'm gonna put out a couple of guesses. Carolina.
No.
Okay, which conference?
AFC.
AFC?
Yep.
Patriots?
Nope.
Browns.
No.
Okay, I give up. Wow, my camera just went off. Hold up. Why did the camera go off? Denver Broncos? Oh, he just went over with.
He's our QB coach.
He just went over with Pat Shermer. He just straight up said, "Let me go over here to the Broncos with Pat Shermer." Yep. But, I mean, part of the reason I think Broncos is a super team is not only what they did players-wise, is because even though I hate Pat Shermer's guts, he's a good offensive coordinator, and he is now Drew Lock's offensive coordinator. I mean, I hate what he did with Daniel Jones overall, but he helped Daniel Jones have that rookie year, and I think he's going to help Drew Lock. But, yeah, man, Broncos would be my sleeper pick. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. So, all right, go back to your question again.
Your sleeper team for this year, mine was the Broncos. Somebody that could potentially, not necessarily make it to the playoffs, but have an impact in the division, like, that nobody saw coming.
Detroit.
In the NFC North.
Yes. I think Detroit, there's a lot of pressure on Quinn and Patricia to succeed, and this is their last year. If they can't make it work with Matthew Stafford, they're going to blow that whole team up again. So, for me, it's Detroit because they need to. If Detroit doesn't have at least an 8-8 or better season, they're gone.
Where is Detroit's weak point right now? Do you think their weak point lies in the defense, in the offense? Is it a specific position group?
I would say defense and replacing Snacks in that defensive front.
Which is, well, that alone tells you how, bad of a position they're in when you got a defensive-minded head coach in Patricia.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. But there was a lot of high hopes. So.
Well, Detroit was actually performing pretty good I think up until week 3 last year, where they almost beat KC. Of course, it's the NFL, though. Almost beating a team means nothing if you lose to them ultimately. But they were doing pretty well last year.
Yeah, and then Matthew Stafford went down. Their season, derailed.
Do you think they'll let?
I mean,
do you think if they blow it up that they'll let go of Stafford? Because I think I'm actually a Matthew Stafford fan. I think he's underrated in some senses, and then in another breath, I do think he's a little bit overpaid. I kind of have that type of thing with Stafford. But do you think they let go of him if they blow it up? Because he's had a good amount of time over there in Detroit.
It's certainly possible. I don't see at that point why you wouldn't, because you're going to want to start out. It depends where Detroit falls in the draft for me, if they have a bad season.
And speaking of falling in the draft, who do you think is going to be the worst team in the NFL next year, man? Who do you think is winning the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes?
Who's winning the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes? I'm going to go Jacksonville.
Wow, you're really this stream. You're really questioning Jacksonville and their, not only how they're going to perform, but their QB's performance out here.
Well, the Jacksonville fans don't, I watch UCF Jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand that whole coaching staff. He can't stand his GM. He can't stand what Khan's doing with the team. He's thoroughly pissed off. And he wants them to blow it up. And he wanted them to blow it up last year, and they didn't. So I could easily see Jacksonville having a terrible season. That's just a given.
When I think about it, though, I'm be honest with you, another team doesn't really come to mind immediately. If we go by, by division, I don't think anybody from the NFC East is going to be bad enough to get that first overall pick. In the AFC East, I don't know. Maybe if Belichick pulls a big brain 4D chess move on us and just starts tanking because he wants Trevor Lawrence, who knows? But I don't really see any other team in there. You go division by division, it really does end up with Jacksonville being a very, very big contender for that spot. Speaking of which, and the AFC East, I think we all know one of these quote-unquote NFL experts came out and said that the NFC East has the worst quarterbacks out of all the divisions in the NFL. I think that's completely false, and I think it goes to the AFC East right now. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. I talked about it on my stream, and you're putting all your hopes into Josh Allen, a guy that has a 56% completion percentage. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, sorry to use the F-bomb, but I mean, come on now. I'd at least be reasonable. I mean, Daniel Jones even completed over 60%. I think Dwayne Haskins was pretty close to 60%. Let me look at Dwayne Haskins' stats last year.
Bro, listen, I'll tell you what happened with that NFL expert, bro. He went over to the NFC East, and he saw the name Dwayne Haskins, and he said, okay, this is it. This is the division with the worst quarterbacks in the league. He just took one look at Haskins, and he gave up on us, bro.
Let me see.
Raymond saying the positional coaches are nowhere to be found. These guys were the one coaching our players. Well, yeah, he is. You're talking about the positional coaches from Shermer's staff. Well, we know for at least 2 of them are out there with the Broncos, and Shermer himself and Mike Shula. What is up, Logics? How are you doing, bro? But chat, let us know. You might not even be a Giants fan. This is a broad NFL question. Who do you guys think? Which division in the league has the worst quarterback group? For me, I think it's a no-brainer. It's the AFC East. Can't be the AFC North. They got good guys up there with Ben, Jackson, potentially Baker Mayfield. Can't be the AFC South. They got a bunch of good guys down there as well. AFC West, nope. They got possibly the best player in football over there. NFC West, really good teams, really good quarterbacks. NFC South, really good quarterbacks. NFC North, really good, okay quarterback. Like it just comes down to the AFC East.
It really does. The AFC is the worst. And Dwayne Haskins had a 58% completion percent, 58.6, so just rounded up to 59.
So basically the same as Mr. Allen over here.
Well, yeah, Mr. Allen's career is 56%.
Oh, whoa, that's terrible. What was he last year?
I'm looking that up right now. He's got to be close. What?
What?
He had 58.8. He was a 0.2 better than
Jesus, man. Like, I didn't even realize that. Jesus Christ. And the Bills are the front runner for the AFC. Bro, the Bills could very well just not be the front runner for the AFC if that continues for Josh Allen.
No, you cannot win with a quarterback with a percentage below 60% in this modern day. I'm sorry. I'm all for playing it safe and having it, but you need that quarterback that can convert those third downs at very minimum and take care of the ball. And Josh Allen does that, but you, I'm sorry, you're not winning with 60. With 60%.
Josh Allen
No,
is
there's no
just he's just a weird quarterback too, because he does better when he's on the run and throwing. That's when you're gonna get his most accurate passes when he's on the run, and it's not exactly like the dude's gonna be running every play.
And do you realize he only had one game of 3 touchdowns last year?
I no.
Or 3 touchdowns or more. One game. One game.
This is just making me realize, looking directly to the camera, all you NFL experts are just haters, man. Daniel Jones had, what, 3 games of 4 touchdowns or more. Come on
I understand.
now.
I understand the guy's got wheels. 3 games. That's ridiculous.
My God. AV Sports and GA coming in clutch saying both AFC East. Raymond saying, who do I want at center? I just want the best player. I can't say for right now. I hope that best player turns out to be Shane Lemieux. I'll tell you what. As of right now, he's the best in terms of run blocking. But what about you, OGR?
What was the question again?
Who do you want at center?
I'm going to say Nick Gates.
Nick
And
Gates?
then Alex Sports says, what's your top kicker? Would you like the Giants to bring in? Right now, I think for me, it's Suckup or Gostowski.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those guys. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, though, I want them to go into the undrafted free agent pool and get – listen, it's not like we're talking wide receiver, running back, or even quarterback here. Kicker is an important position and is definitely underrated, but it's definitely also easy to find a kicker. I think they can definitely find somebody in the undrafted free agent pool, not only because Gostowski is coming off the injury, and like OGR pointed out, he was struggling before the injury, and he's definitely the most realistic option now, but I also want an undrafted free agent in terms of youth, too.
Yeah. So, right now, I'm seeing the ones that have been signed, and Rigiardo Blankenship was the best out of Georgia that I know of.
Rodrigo Blankenship?
Yep.
Is he an undrafted free agent?
He is, but he was signed. I'm looking at the ones that are signed. I'm like seeing if there's any more.
You know
that
what's
are
funny about Rodrigo Blankenship? He's like a legend in Madden. He's a legendary kicker in Madden 20, bro. Like, anytime, he's the only kicker that ever gets drafted in the Madden simulations, and that's how I know his name, just because he's a legend in Madden.
What I can tell you right now is the LA Rams have 2 free agent kickers, or undrafted free agent kickers. They're not keeping both. So that's one, especially if it's a good competition.
Is Zerline gone?
I do not know.
Are you talking Legatron? Greg Legatron Zerline is gone? Because if he's a free agent, I'm looking into him.
Yeah.
And
right now, I'm just kind of scrolling through because I'm actually just kind of interested to learn. I mean, ask me anything, but I honestly want to see what kickers are out there.
I'll tell you what. At that point, right now, LA has like 3 kickers on their team, though, because I don't think they're just going to let go of Greg that way, but I'm probably gonna pray that Rodrigo Blankenship gets let go of just for the laughs, and we get the legendary Madden kicker on here. AV Sports saying Gates is too tall for center. What do you think about
that? It's possible. It's certainly possible, but I just don't see Shane Lemieux possibly sliding over. I think they drafted him as a guy that's going to replace Zeitler down the road. I just don't pencil him in there. I could be wrong.
I'll keep it real. I don't know if he was drafted for that, but I think the best career path for him is either going to be as good offensive line depth or a replacement for Zeitler down the road. I don't think his best career path is going to be as a center position. Greg is on the Cowboys. Okay, Daniel, thank you for letting me know that. Did not know that. Greg went to the Cowboys. So then I guess Rams are really going to decide between Blankenship and whoever else they signed.
Oh, no, they don't have Blankenship. There's like 2 other guys.
Oh, okay then. And Alex saying, OGR, I prefer us bringing Suckup as well. Now, in terms of is there any other, any other interesting free agent names on there for the kickers list?
Right now, I just found guys. Some Cooper Ruth out of Wyoming.
I have never heard of him.
Yeah, he's doesn't sound like he has a team. Without NFL team call his own yet, Cooper Ruth.
All right, well that's somebody.
That seems like a good prospect out of Wyoming.
Oh, and somebody else the kicker for the New York Guardians, the XFL team. He was somebody that the Giants could potentially look into also. He's used to kicking in MetLife Stadium and has definitely kicked in at least a very semi-pro football setting. I think that's another person we could look into. I think his last name is McCrane or something like that, but I could be wrong. But that's going to be it for now, guys. It was a nice hour stream. Make sure you go over to Butcher's Talk, Butcher's
Butcher
Blog,
Block and Patriots Talk.
the Patriots Talk channel. Make sure you go over there. OGR is going to be the triple header tonight. He's going to go over there and finish up his night over there. Any last thoughts, OGR? Thank you for coming on, my man. How you doing?
I appreciate you bringing me on, my guy, and let's go Cooper Ruth.
Cooper Ruth?
The new Giants New York kicker, Cooper Ruth.
You're going with him. I'm going to go with the former Guardians XFL kicker just because he has the experience at MetLife, whose name I don't even know. So Ruth or McCrane, that's going to be the